What up? This your boy Ocean, Niece, Yans, Yannies, anything that you know me as. This is a response, not directly to Mase, um, about the story he told on him and Cam's show. It is what it is. He talked about this. Now that's happened over 20 years ago. He talked about how Big L, Mark Coleman, rest in peace, allegedly had him set up to be robbed. Um, Mace just so happened to be with my man God, Sham God, my man Sham, when this happened too. If this is true, Sham wasn't the intended target or whatever. Mace talked about how L, he felt L was using his lyrics, cadences, syllables, things of that nature. They had a conversation about it. Mace said it went left. Um, I can imagine people was there trying to break up whatever, telling both of them dudes to chill and everything. Mind you, these is cats that grew up together and everything. So, it didn't come to blows, right there or anything like that. So, Big L was already on and Mace was already on. He got on after Big L, of course, but L got on with Digging in the Crates, Diamond D, Lord Finesse, Fat Joe, and all them. And Mace got on with Bad Boy. And so, being down with Bad Boy, it comes with a whole another level of glitz and glamour. And Mace set Harlem and New York City ablaze. Like, more so Harlem than anything. Like, he shut it down. So, Mace says how one time he was in the tunnel. That's a club in New York City. If you ever seen the movie Belly, the opening scene, that was the tunnel. That was the tunnel. Um, he was talking about how Fat Joe, it approached him and everything, but then Fat Joe was like, "This is Mace. I'm not doing nothing to Mace or whatever." Um, then let's take it right to the point of where he said it actually happened. Mace was hanging out in 39th Street Park. Now, if you're not from New York, 39th Street Park it sits between 139th and Lenox and 140th and Lenox. If you ever seen Above the Rim, it's the part of the movie where Marlon Wayne's character is putting the powder in his hand and everything, and he's like, it's all about grip. And the part where Tupac pulled the razor out, that was 39th Street Park and everything. It From the story, it sounded like it was just a regular old day. And looking at the footage that's released online, Mace had on like a tank top, and so it definitely was a hot day or whatever. And he said they was walking up 141st and 7th. So I could see them walking in between the blocks and everything. Now, you walking on the main avenue, that's one thing. But walking in between those blocks, things can get a little crazy. But this was broad daylight. And the story that I got initially was, yeah, Mase and Sham got robbed, but the dude that robbed them, he had robbed a few more people prior to that because he was hired up and everything. And I got that on good authority. You gotta remember, this is taking place at a time. This is a part in Harlem. I'm not gonna say where I come in at because I have nothing to do with the story, but I grew up with a lot of these cats too. I lived 2363 139th 7th Avenue. Shout out to my man A Butter. Me and L went to PS 197 together. You know what I'm saying? Me, Cam, Mason, all of us, we played at Kennedy Center playing ball and everything. Above the Rim was all throughout the movie and everything, and they showed our schools, our playground, and everything else. L lived on 39th and Lenox. Cam lived on 40th and Lenox. I think Herb McGruff stayed in what you call an L's building and everything. So definitely, it's all tight knit. It's all tight knit and everything. Now, to be honest, I've never heard of L being on anything grimy, especially in real time. I didn't hear that. Now, what I could say is this though: when L got killed, there was a rumor out there that he got killed because he set up some dudes that be throwing parties and events. You know what I'm saying? He set them up and word got back. The group name, I think it was Final Four or whatever. It was them and Gator Productions I'm not saying Gator Productions had nothing to do with it. I'm not saying Final Four had nothing to do with it. I'm just saying about this is the stories that were out there in real time. When I heard it, I was like, this don't make no sense. A dude named Joe Dick. I don't think I know Duke. I think people keep telling me I've seen him before, but I don't think I personally knew Duke. From all accounts, it sounded like he was kind of like a socialite, but he was a grimy dude. So they saying that, L put him on them Final Four dudes and everything. This is all what the streets is saying, and here we are 20 years later. Mase is talking about how after Duke that robbed them got caught by the cops because they was in the vicinity. When he went to jail, they put the beats on him, and word got back that L is the one that, pointed him in Mace's direction or whatever. I'm not going to sit up here and say Mase is lying about anything because it just doesn't make sense for him to lie about it. But at the same time, I'm not fully saying that L was grimy like that. You see what I'm saying? But what I could say is this. People do have, I have to admit this, people do have different relationships with people, and people know people more intimately. Mase clearly knows L more intimately than me. He knew him more intimately than me. Me and L has never had no bad interactions whatsoever. It was all love at all accounts. But, these cats really grew up together, like for real, for real. But I say this though. He brought up my man Party Yardie, God bless his dad. He brought up my man Wally World. This is all once I moved to the Bronx, 149 Park Avenue, Michelangelo stand up. Patterson Projects and all them over there. So, I came up with them cats too and everything. I spoke to Wally. I'm not going to get into the details of what the conversation was about, but what I can say is this. He definitely gave me some clarity about some of the claims that people have been saying about L, and I spoke to not only Wally, spoke to a few other people, and some people had the feel like, well, it's not too far-fetched because of some things they told me that I never heard about with L. So some of the things that Mase was saying was definitely shocking in terms of that. I was thinking of one thing though. And I'm going to take it between 135th and Lenox. Let's start at the Schaumburg. You can even say Pan Pan. Or all the way to 145th and Lenox. And we can stop right there at Esplanade. A lot of people in between that. We talking Kim. We talking really more so my man Dre. God bless the dead. Hud 6, Andre Hudson. I met Dre and Kim around the same time when we was kids because we all played Kennedy Center together. So I definitely have a closer relationship with Kim and them like that or whatever. But like I said, with Mase, it's always been love whenever we see each other. I think the last time I seen Mase, we was out here in Vegas. We ran into each other in Vegas at Fat Burger. He showed nothing but love, like he always have. So this is, like I said, this is not to shit on nobody. I'm not calling anybody a liar. I'm just saying people got different relationships and people move differently. If you grew up in the inner city, you're going to have some questionable friends that do some questionable things. And everybody's not going to be privy to the way that these people are moving or whatever. So the only thing, getting back to Dre and L were like this. But Dre was put on also in All Out with with Mase. And Dre and Cam is brothers, not biological, but I've been calling them, not just me, but everybody's been calling them brothers since we were single digits. So I'm not taking that away. That biological thing don't really mean nothing. Them cats was brothers, and I've been around them. They're brothers. So it just boggles me a little bit. I can run off a few names of people that I'm like, dag, if it really was that serious, why wasn't these people able to, like, come in between? Definitely Herb McGruff. Mike Bruno, Cam, Dre, I can even say my man G-Dog, Gary Saunders. Like, I can name a few more people that I know that all these cats are like this with and they tight. But at the same time, sometimes it's not about picking sides. Sometimes I just guess people was probably taking it like, yo, they'll figure it out. It's not going to go but so far and everything. So, like I said, but What was interesting at the end of the video, when Mase said he found out it was L, he said it's over for this dude. Now clearly Mase had nothing to do with L getting killed. He had nothing to do with it. Everybody knows now, it's common knowledge that Gerald killed L. Now, the why, the street story is, at first, it was something to do with his brother Lee. But then some people are talking about that Joe Dick Paul situation. So I don't know what the truth is fully. I just know L's not here no more. Dre's not here. Joe Dick is dead and everything. And these are just older stories and stuff. And Mase didn't need me to back nothing up. I'm just saying, the point is you don't really know how people really move unless you're really around them and really know how they move. Because it's the same can be said about Poe and Rich. Because there was some stories that Rich Porter has some griminess to him. Now, Alpo is dead, Rich is dead, and I'm not saying that was Poe had his reasons, and people that love Rich had their feelings on what happened with Rich and Poe. But once again, I say it again, sometimes when you have relationships, you only can go off of the relationship you have, but there's another side to that person that you might not know about. So just keep that in mind when, you have these relationships with people. Subscribe to Ocean's View, and I'll see y'all later.